I love the $12 single entry, so that's what I did. And I only made 3 for 3. The three that made the cut was Steel, Love Mark, and did I can't even remember the third person. But it was all three of them were my low owned players, and all three of my chalk didn't make the cut, like Day, Rose, and Thomas. They didn't make the cut, which was really unfortunate. But I was still able to somehow cash with only 3 people making the cut, so that's good at least. It was only the minimum, so it's still better than nothing. But let's go ahead and get started with this week. My first pick is going to be Paul Casey. If you noticed my chart, I'm fading actually the top 4 people. I do like Roy and a couple other lineups. Spieth a little bit. Thomas is probably going to be like 30+% owned, so I'm not even going to touch him. Paul Casey, he finished 17th here last year, second in 2015. He is looking like he could be 29% owned, but I think he has just as good of a chance to win as, say, Justin Thomas or Roy with how he's been playing and his recent course history here. And why not just pay a little bit down so you can work in some of these other higher ups? He has 6 in par 4s, 41st in birdie or better, and tee to green he's at 13th. My next pick is going to be Hoffman. I think he could be a little bit higher owned than 10%, maybe 13, 14 or so. He has played here a lot, as you can see, 25th, skip, 26th, 7th, 2nd, 43rd, 27th, skip. He's 40th in par 4s, 34th in birdie or better. Tee to green, he's 36th. My next pick is going to be somebody who I've been on these last like 3 weeks, and he's helped me pretty well. I like Love Mark. I think he's back in his groove and sitting at 7,700. He's pretty decent for his price. I think he may be actually a little bit less owned than this. I don't think he's going to be that hot. His course history isn't too great. Miscut, skip, 31st, skip, 69, skip, skip, skip. It's not too great, but I think he's back in with his 6th in par 4s, birdie or better, 66, which is, it's not a, I don't put the birdie or better too big because some courses don't, you can't just, you can't do the birdies or better like as good as other courses, so it's kind of a hard stat to throw in, but I just thought I'd put it there. Tee to green, and he's 33rd. I like him. Webb, I was talked into on him, but I think after looking him over, he's looks like he's at least going to make the cut. He could contend. You just never know with him. He placed 34th here last year, 2013 5th, 2012 29th, 13th, 57th, 26th. He's looking around 7% owned, so I like him for my single digit guy. Par 4s 15th, birdie or better 82, tee to green 24th. And also, these stats are not just for the field. These stats are every golfer. It's just any golfer. For example, Dustin Johnson. He's like number 1 in most of these stats. He is added to these stats, so you should understand what I mean. My next pick is going to be Snedeker at 9,400. Good chance also. I think he could win. I think him, Paul Casey, and even Love Mark are possible people that could win this. And maybe even Steele, which will be my next pick. Snedeker didn't play here last year, and then before that, 10th and 11th. Then skip to 24th, 103, 47. He missed a cut in this one, if I'm not mistaken. Around 23% owned. Depending on your contest, I think he could only be about 18, 19 in the single entry. 40th in par 4s, 19th in birdie or betters, and 84th in tee to green. He's not too great in tee to green, but I think he's going to do well here. A lot of people keep saying that this field is such a stacked field. I wouldn't say it's stacked. I say the top 3 or 4 people is where it's stacked. Most people didn't expect these people right here to really play this week after they usually don't after the U.S. Open or whatever, the Masters or whatever, stuff like that. They usually don't usually play after that. But if you start working your way down here, they're not huge names. That's why people like Lovemark is 7,700. They're not really huge names. Also, like somebody, I'm just gonna throw this out there. I did not throw this on my spreadsheet. I do like Bud Colley quite a bit. I haven't. I'm sure my lineup will change a little bit. I think with this field, Bud Colley can easily top 15. But on to my last pick of the lineup. Steele at 9,000. 17th, 25th, 5th, 13th, 112, 13, around 21% owned. Par 4s, he's 6th. Birdie or better, 14th, and tee to green. 19th, I like him and Paul Casey are probably my top two favorites, with Hoffman close behind in third. That's going to be it for just this lineup. However, as you can see, I do like Dillette a little bit. He is going to be extremely low owned. He's done okay here. I don't see how it'd be pretty crazy. Not crazy, but I just don't think he's going to miss the cut. I don't know if he's going to place. He could come in -7 or +7. After the first round or some shit. You just never know with him. His stats are halfway decent. And Mark Leishman, he is looking to be a bit chalky. However, I think he could easily contend at, 9,300. I was debating in this lineup. I was debating between him and Snedeker. It's a tough choice. Laird, he's expected to be fairly lowly owned. His stats are decent. He's placed here decent. And then Clark, Wyndham Clark, I think that's his name. He has not played yet. He just now got the invitational here. He's new. Some people think he could be kind of like Rahm. I wouldn't bank on that. I just think he should be able to make the cut. If I'm not mistaken, on somebody I was listening to, they said that 11 out of 13, his college contest, he's placed in top 15. So I think he could be easily make the cut and a good little pivot down there at 6,400 to work in some of your higher owned guys. Outside of the people that I didn't list, at 7,100, I do like Hunan. He is expected to be in the single digit at percentage owned, so he's a good little guy to choose. Grillo, a little bit, I like him, just not 100% sure. Like I said, Colley, I really like Colley Lahari. Some people say he's going to do really good, but you see them 3 missed cuts right there. It's just hard to tell. He could go in, end up with something like 20 points, or he could get near a freaking 100, and it's just a 50-50 shot, really. Other than that, I think that's really about it. Wesley Bryan, I don't want to touch. Daniel Lee, maybe. Brian Gay, he screwed me on that miscut on his last tournament. Really expected him to make that cut. I don't mind him too much. Lucas Glover, he's been showing up in the stats. He could be a decent little pick at 6,600. That's pretty good. It's pretty cheap for him. Other than that, obviously I like Tony Finau. Kyle Stanley was the other guy I didn't write down in my spreadsheet. Pretty big on him. Think he could do really well in this field. And I'd say another higher up guy is Reed that could contend. I think he's actually won here before even. Berger, I like him as well. I like a lot of people. It's just I'd like him more if he was about 84, 83, something like that. I would have definitely went with him. It's just hard to pick him at 91. But I guess that's going to be it this week. I mean, I'm going to try to do some NASCAR, maybe MMA, the CFL. I'm going to update it. But that's going to be it this week, guys. Tune in next week for the next picks. Peace out.